I think it's a voice that matters, a voice that will bring sanity to Indian markets and bring some sanity to the currency as well. We are seeing early signs of recovery as far as both the Sensex and the Nifty are concerned, and which is why it is indeed a pleasure to welcome the Honorable Finance Minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, who joins us all the way from Beijing right here in ET now, and this is the Times Network exclusive. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. My first question to you is that many people thought till late last night that Britain will opt to stay within the Union. They've decided to exit. In some sense, has the Brexit vote taken you by surprise?
Well, frankly, we were only distant observers, but at the same time, we were keeping closely in touch. If you recollect, about a week ago, most polls had indicated that the exiters were in a comfortable lead. And then, after the unfortunate assassination of a member of parliament, the undercurrent appeared to have changed. But close observers, we were in touch with our High Commission, and their the observations also were that the initial opinion polls were now indicating a kind of a photo finish. And therefore, to take any poll for granted would not be a very wise decision at all. It's only post the election late last night that the British media made out that the Remain vote would be in excess of the Leave vote. But then from the early morning trends, it has been quite clear that it was otherwise.
Indeed, sir, and I think you should be lauded for the fact that your government was being proactive till about late last evening. You and your bureaucrats were in meetings trying to sort out what the strategy should be. You have said that there is a line of defense, there is a solid near-term firewall. We are seeing some amount of sanity return to the markets, but we are a part of the global carnage, really. Do you believe this risk aversion in global markets, including India, is here to stay, sir?
You see, the initial impact of the decision takes the world by surprise. And when it takes the world by surprise, the first reaction obviously is on two fronts. The stock markets are in a turmoil, and the capital flows start moving towards safer havens, which in this case happens to be the United States. And therefore, currencies across the world are adversely impacted. Now, this happens in the initial moments, but then depending upon what the inherent strength of every economy is, we must keep in mind that between the real economy and the stock market economy, there is a clear distinction that holds out today. And at the end of the day, after the initial shocks are absorbed, sanity always returns, logical thinking always returns, and thereafter markets and currencies move on the strength of the real economy and the strength of that real economy. And I do believe that as far as India is concerned, our real economy is in a sound shape. We have political stability. We have stability in terms of economic decision making. Our economy is extremely stable. Our macroeconomic parameters are very stable. And if we are the fastest growing amongst the major economies in the world, with a lot of reserves of foreign exchange, I don't think there is much to worry as far as India is concerned in the long term. As the situation settles down with passage of time, the impact of these initial shocks would always be absorbed. And hopefully, if we do have a good monsoon, as the indications appear to be, the economy is well on a revival path for some time.
Oh, absolutely. And I think economy is also in safe hands because of proactive ministers like you who are willing to come out there and assuage frayed nerves, sir. But if I were to ask you a medium-term question, a lot of people believe that the Brexit vote will perhaps delay the decision of a Fed rate hike. In some sense, that is a God-sent opportunity because that would have seen a further flow of capital. Do you believe this is a lifeline or the silver lining that some people are perhaps missing out at this stage?
Well, that's a decision the U.S. Fed really will have to take on, and the U.S. Fed, from all observations which have been coming in the last several months, keeps the global recovery in addition to their own job indications in mind when they decide the rates. And the U.S. Fed rates do impact the rest of the world. And I'll keep my fingers crossed as to what happens on that front now.
But the other big lifeline that has come to you, sir, and sometimes they say fortune favors the brave, is the fact that oil prices that were beginning to rise and were causing some worry among some economists are perhaps going to stay low, and that is going to help you contain your fiscal math as well. Is that, again, a silver line that should be spoken about at this point in time?
As I said, you see, there are a large number of variables. And in a volatile world, the number of these variables will keep on increasing, some to our advantage, some not so much to our advantage. And I would say at the end of the day, I'll repeat what I had said in the very beginning, that it's the real economy that matters. And if the real economy does well, a day or two of upheaval in the stock market is something which sound economies can always absorb.
And a day or two in the upheaval of the cycle of the rupee perhaps is also one of those things. Some people believe that the rupee was a little overvalued. Correction was warranted. It was the pace of correction. And like you rightly pointed out there, this is a knee-jerk reaction. We will see sanity come back. Are you at all losing sleep over the movement of the currency over the next few days, sir?
No, I think losing sleep is too strong a word, but at the same time, we are certainly concerned. We don't want rupee to acquire any unnatural value. The rupee must acquire its own logical value on the basis of its own strength. And I'm sure the Reserve Bank also is keeping a very close watch on it. I've been in touch with the Reserve Bank since morning, and I'm sure we are in safe hands.
We are in safe hands indeed, sir. One last question before I let you go, and that is the dangerous rise in trend. And many people believe this has triggered a fear of sorts across markets that we are going to see this rise of protectionism, the rise of anti-global sentiment. US elections right around the corner as well, and that could have its ramifications. But are you someone who's willing to just lose sleep right now as far as this rise of anti-globalization sentiment is concerned?
Well, I think it's not merely trade. The immigration issue also has formed a part of the subtle undercurrent in several Western societies. And therefore, reactions of governments and reactions of popular opinion have not been on the same page at times. But I'm sure people realize the advantages of free trade. People realize the advantage of global markets being available to them. And once global market advantages are available to countries, they are able to realize their full potential. I'm in China at the moment. Look at the manner in which China utilized the advantage of its access to the global markets in order to accelerate its growth over 3 decades. I think these are live examples in front of us, and as transient reactions, we should not lose sight of these.
Sir, as cash and forex reserves look very well, are you going to go back to the drawing board as far as your trade relations with both the UK and the European Union are concerned? Because you will perhaps have to now sign new pacts, and Indian companies have a lot of exposure to the UK and to the European Union as a bloc.
Well, we are one of the largest investors as far as the UK is concerned, and of course, developments in UK do impact on our countries. And obviously, whatever is the new shape of things to come, we'll be in touch with the European Union. We'll certainly be in touch with the United Kingdom. After all, life has to go on even after this vote, and life in business has to go on even after this vote.
Your government has pushed a big pedal on reforms, whether it's FDI or whether it's reforms in the textile space or spectrum auction. Do we expect that momentum to continue, and do you believe this Brexit vote puts the moral authority on the opposition also to play ball now to keep Indian economy on the right track?
Well, I think, as I said, in the long run, it's the strength of the real economy that will matter. And one of the the yardsticks for determining and realizing that full potential of the real economy is also going to be our own ability to reform, because the world continuously keeps observing us. These become important measures which are taken by the government, and the world tests our ability to clear these measures.
Mr. Finance Minister, it is indeed a pleasure to be talking to you this Friday afternoon when the global markets and Indian markets have not been alluded to this. But thank you very much, sir, for taking time out all the way in Beijing, speaking to the Times Network.
Thank you.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.